Don't forget to press "you got it."
Okay. Yeah. How did you get in, Lesley?
Yeah, the second time. This is being recorded, so we won't go over that at the moment, if you don't mind.
I can send you the
It's over to you, Nikki.
Yes, but otherwise it's error. Hang on a second, guys.
Andy's still with us, I think.
Yeah, I'm still here, yeah.
Yeah, you're still there. This normally, Andy, we go straight for it. If you've seen any of the other videos of ours that's been done through Zoom, because Nikki does put them up on Facebook and on several platforms, so you might find it anyway. If not, then I can always send them to you. I think if we, you know, sort of, we're not live yet. If you go in Messenger and look for me, Lesley Shepherd, in Messenger, send a request and I will confirm it, and then we can talk separately if that's okay.
That is fine, Lesley. Yeah, I'll make a note. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Lovely.
In fact, I might do it now, actually.
Yeah, while you're waiting.
Yeah.
On record, by the way, guys.
It's on record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
So Nikki's got to
It is, but she's gonna edit it out.
Yeah.
And Shanti's in.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody.
You use only your picture, Shanti. There's no video.
No, I got my video turned off.
Okay. Well, we're recording, folks. I can introduce myself. If you want to get hold of me, I'm just filling in time on this recording. If you want to get hold of me.
So we're live now. Good evening,
Okay.
everybody. Sorry, apologies that we are quite really delayed today for like 30 minutes because we're having problems. Well, you know, there's a big, really strong typhoon in the Philippines right now. It's like scary. And so we tried our best. So let me introduce to you first our guest today. Of course, you know, everybody knows already a regular special guest, Miss Lesley here, Miss Lesley Shepherd. And of course, Sarah Holding is here. We have a guest as well, Andy, and Shanti is here. So guys, our topic for today is about, again, continuing about mediumship, and more today about being a medium, like challenges of being a medium and, you know, the obstacles and of course the benefits, or what is it, what's good about being a medium, and also the big thing about the difference between being a medium and being a psychic, because I get a lot of questions about that. Like, you know, if you're a psychic, are you also a medium, you know? And then a new topic for today by request is about being a starseed. Like, what is a starseed really? Because a lot of people are using this term like, I'm a starseed, but how do you know you're a starseed? What makes you a starseed really? So these are the things that we're going to be discussing tonight. So we're live, our guest from the UK. I'm so happy to, well, we have one guest from the US as well. So I'm happy to have everyone here. So again, please introduce yourselves. Let's start with Ms. Lesley Shepherd.
Okay. Well, again, it's a pleasure to be here with you, Nikki. Yes, we're really sorry about all the hiccups that we've experienced. We've had some new technology as well that's gone on to this Zoom, of which I'm not a tech person. So that's the hold up. So I do apologise. It is all my fault. If you want to get hold of me, then on an email, it's leslie.automaticwriting, all one word, @gmail.com. I also have a website which will help to answer a lot of your questions on mediumship, which is www.automaticwriting, again, all one word, .co.uk. That can answer a lot of the questions that you may have For instance, you might feel that you have an awakening of some sort. Now, that word awakening means that you are spiritually aware, or perhaps like Andy, who's on this, and we were talking earlier, has been to mediums and had mediumship readings, and they've all told him he's got something special that's awakening. So I'm going to say a little bit more of how that all happens. And I've just said to Andy earlier, if he wants to get hold of me for a personal mediumship tutoring, then we can get in touch on Messenger. So you just got to look me up on Messenger. Right, so to start with, how your body is made up. A normal person, physical body, and within that physical body, you have an energy form, which is exactly the same as your physical body. It's a mirror image of the physical body, but it's only made up of energy. That energy, it then helps you to connect either with spirit in any ways, or to help you along your own pathway. Because a nice incident that you can talk to about energy is, sometimes if you're in a certain situation, you feel it in your tummy, where your navel is. That's where your ethereal cord, which this energy I'm talking about, your ethereal body, is connected to that cord. And that cord is attached to the cord you were born with. So it keeps your physical and your ethereal body connected. And that ethereal cord breaks on the point of death. So, or as we call it, passing over. There's many words. I want to also explain that when that cord breaks, the energy field goes to the first plane, and the first plane is there with the receiving spirit. So in other words, if you know you're going to pass, it's not a sudden passing. A member of your family in the arisen field comes forward, holds your hand and takes you through the doorway into that first plane, where the energy field then grows. So you have more energy on that first plane. You're introduced to your other arisen family or friends, it depends who's on the other side, and you can connect to them whilst you're in the physical body, because the ethereal body is attached to the physical. So you have the feelings there. I'll give you an instance. If you wanted to get in touch with your mother, your father, your grandfather, friends that are really close to you, then you just feel that energy flowing from the top of the head down through the chakras, which we've talked about before, so I'm not going to go in depths of this, but you feel it in that tummy area and you get a kind of tug. It's like a knowingness there that you are attached to something or somebody. So the ethereal is there, and that is what a medium uses, basically. Are you all right, Nikki?
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm just checking connection here.
Yeah, I haven't got everybody on screen, it's just me and you. So basically, we know that that ethereal cord is there, and it can take you to the other side of the world to give healing to someone. You know, if you've got a member of family, say, that's in Australia, then obviously you can center yourself and use that energy to flow it out to where it's needed. So the energy form just that, and the cord is just infinitesimal. It's as long as you want it to be. And in the same presence, you can stretch that cord to go and remote view other planets, other worlds, which is what Sarah will be bringing into with the Starseed discussion. So I'm her mentor, and I've been Nikki's mentor too in the past. So if you need a one-to-one which you're more comfortable with, then obviously on Messenger, if we make friends there, I can sort you through that kind of tutorial. I have started to teach through that way for many years. So there isn't a lot that I can't answer your questions on in that respect. But I do start now to charge, but it's not an enormous amount to charge. It's just for my time, really, and using my expertise for you. the same as you would an ordinary medium. You would expect to pay an ordinary medium for a reading. But I will say on the one-to-one, sometimes readings come into it because your family starts to flow in as I'm giving you the tutorial of that particular process. So now let's go through to how a medium connects. I've talked about the energy and the energy field and how they mingle together, okay? And you're able then to get words coming into your head here. And you can write from those words. So if you get, say you get mum online here, the next thing to do is write what she's saying down on a piece of paper, and then your communication can start. That's called automatic writing. And all my books are done through scripts of automatic writing. So when you're connected to your loved one and you've asked them, where are you? And they're saying, oh, I'm in a wonderful place here. I can only go by what I've been given. And they start to explain who they've been in touch with. And you can then explain like you do on a telephone call, because it's exactly the same. But your explanation through to them is done here, in your third eye, in your mind, because it's a mind-to-mind link. So there's no need to write your own words down, only their answers, okay? That comes in time and can be immediate. I have a friend in Australia and her ex-husband died or passed over. Can I use that term, passed over? And she wanted to get in touch with him, but she said, Lesley, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any religion. And I said, it doesn't matter. It's only a mind-to-mind link. Yes, we believe in God and the angels, but only as a God force. The energy is created and brought through to your mind's eye from here, which is the energy field coming in, to the soul. And the soul is there as the powerhouse. So your soul connection is that beautiful powerhouse. You can imagine it as a computer box, and all the signals are coming in to that computer box, bringing it into the energy field, going through to your gut, going through to your ethereal cord. So that's telling you that you are awakened because you're getting these feelings. I would ask anybody who wants to get in touch with their family to do it in this way, because it's between you and your family member. You may not always get the same family member. You might get one spokesperson of that family because it's the strongest connection, vibrational frequency to your body that comes through to be a spokesperson for the rest of the family. So please don't take heart if you haven't got the right person forward. This also happens with mediums. Mediums will say, I can't seem to get hold of your mum, but your mum is here. But your dad wants to talk, or your granddad wants to talk to you, because it's the strongest vibrational link. And you can liken it to radio waves coming in. So that radio waves coming in has to be in the correct response, like tuning in a radio station or tuning in a TV station. Then you get a better picture or a better communication. So that's more or less how mediums work. I'm wearing today the little brooch that I send out to members. And this little brooch is held in pride for my senior Starseeds. Starseed Sisters and Brothers is my group. So whenever you see the little angel brooch, you know you're speaking to someone who has had tutorials with myself and able to tutor someone else, which is helpful. So now I'm going to talk about mediums and psychics and the difference. I'm very quickly going to go over this. Mediums, they use a clairvoyant link, which I've just explained, that energy field, and they can bring forward your member of family. And it's giving evidence of survival, and they're giving the messages from loved ones to you, the sitter. But they're doing it on a clairvoyant link, which uses that vibrational frequency. Putting that aside, psychicship or psychic mediums, as they would be called, would be using both psychic mediums. If you do psychic tarot cards, then obviously it's just done with a psychic feeling. So they would look at your body language, they would look at what they can see of your aura around you for different colours. They would use tarot cards, they would use oracle cards for psychics. But the medium that's a clairvoyant would use a divination pack. It's completely different, because the divination pack brings in the intuitiveness of the medium that's giving it. Psychicness, or psychic powers, if you wish to put it that way, are using what the card is explaining on that card. And usually it's just an inscription on the card, and they don't need to use their clairvoyant mediumship, their frequency vibrations. So you're unlikely, unless the medium is doing both, which I do both, psychic and clairvoyant together, then you will not get your loved one coming through in a way that gives you evidence of survival. They might be able to give you a name, but you know, names, unless they're very unusual names, just come out of the thin air as such. So I'm not knocking either, because I think both do a really good job, both psychics and clairvoyant mediums. So, and there are many, many of them on the internet. So all I'm saying is just be careful who you actually contact on the internet, that they are giving you, if you want a message from a loved one, they're giving you the correct information. If you only want a pathway forward, then obviously Shanti is here today and she does life coaching, which is more on the psychic side of it, but because she's a clairvoyant as well, she can mingle the two. So her life coaching is a little different. But most life coaches just give you that, your way forward, your pathway. If you've come on a crossroads in your pathway, and it's your life going on from there. So that split the two up. So now I'm going to read you a little passage as we go on to the Starseed side of it all, and we can bring in Sarah, who's with me, and she's a fledgling medium in my group. And basically, she came into Starseeds first and then had to learn the mediumship side of it all. So let me just read this passage out of A Diary for the Spirit, Masters to Masters, and it will give you a little bit of inkling as to the Starseed side of it all, but Sarah will give you more information on it. So, script of 18th of the 5th, 01. So we're talking 2001 here. Echo here, Lesley. That's one of my ET guys that comes in as a leader of other worlds. And he says, I have come along this evening to tell you that there is to be much talk soon of an interplanetary exploration of our quadrant, and we would like to give you first-hand information towards this aim. The three sisters of 7 stars in the heavens of your space will be illuminated by an unusual phenomenon which will turn about face a structural astrological being in the skies. If any of you follow astrology, then you know that these are joined together by the different stars forming as a constellation. You are seeing a fuzzy patch in the sky at present, which is true. Just below the Milky Way is a fuzzy patch there, which you can see with the naked eye. This is made up of naturally made debris and gases, which are being sucked into a gas cloud, which will change elements around it, thus causing the area described above. May we take this opportunity to say, on the prospect of writing about us, that we wish you good luck. Maybe one day your efforts of the last 20 to 30 years will not have gone in vain. My correspondence with you has been charming, and you have taught me patience of a kind that no other mortal of your world has been capable of, thus making you quite unique in your field of communication. Now, this is the interesting bit. The way of life on my planet is to show more on how to make things better for ourselves rather than for others. So you teach as well in this naturally in accordance with the heavenly laws, which we must obey without question. These are the laws which are set about so that spirit have to adhere to certain spiritual laws. Our loyalty must lie here. Now we move on to how we pass over to the arisen state. And at times we feel your distress when your loved one passed. We, on the other hand, because of the longevity of our physical form, and I might add, this echo is 700 years old. We, on the other hand, because of the longevity, do not have this mourning stage that you earthlings have to endure. Our passing when it comes is always welcomed, not endured and feared. We also have many fellow creatures for comfort rather than your one-to-one coupling. They're talking about getting married. This we realized many lifetimes ago. It is too much to ask for one to be attached to another for our longevity of life. So we are structured not just for procreation, but to know our knowledge also has to be in tune. In other words, our alpha waves as a couple of changes whilst together, where one gathers more of a level of understanding and the other partner doesn't, so we move on. In our culture, we do not need to worry for the chattel gained between us, for whatever we need is there for us without effort. So no baggage, as you earthlings would say. Our children grow up to love all the connections to the family, teaching them early in childhood to learn from the expansion of the alpha waves, which is a natural practice to know instinctively what is expected and how to grow objectively to man or womanhood. As this approaches, they go for a coupling. Nuptials, you call this, we believe. The longing of another does not pass as quickly as with you earthlings. Our fellow citizens do not need to expand so much energy in making another in our image, for we do not need to wait 9 months for the gestation period. Our siblings are blessed into our world immediately on the following of the coupling blessings, which have to be sanctified. The time has to be right for a new foundling to be created. May we say it is a most joyful state of affairs. We have no need of exploiting a birth explosion on our planet. It never happens because of the guidance we receive from our high priest and priestess on these matters, and our loving leaders in whatever village we reside in. Our ethereal planes are much the same as yours. We have twin moons and suns and a parallel universe. Among you are a few of us as we planted our seeds with yours. They're talking mixed DNA here. And we are concerned when your planet hits any dilemma, even if it is of your own making. Hence our activity at times is detected by your peoples. And one day when the time is right, we will reveal ourselves. Lesley, for now, your inhabitants as a whole are not right with each other's individual alpha state and beta waves, not being so compatible to ours for communication skills to be passed on to one another. We come to a close, dear one, until we meet you in your dream state or meditation. From our level of thought to yours, God bless and keep you always. Echo, Munchien, and your gatekeeper. I'm sorry that was a bit lengthy, but it sort of twins everything into what we've just been talking about, and it brings into the ethereal beings that are on other planets around our planet. So now, Nikki, you can bring in Sarah and she'll explain a little bit more on the Starseeds issue.
All right, thank you so much for that. That was really very, very beautiful. So basically now what we're going to be discussing, we are, by the way, before we proceed with Sarah, I just want to let you know that to those who are watching us right now, including, unfortunately, we cannot broadcast live to Instagram, although some people are watching, because we can only do on the Facebook page right now. So we are very much welcoming your comments, your questions. Again, the topic is about being a medium and mediumship, and also the Starseed. So before we proceed, I have a question here.
On mediumship.
Yeah, on mediumship. Somebody else, like, somebody was, well, there were like 3 questions here in front of me right now, and somebody was
Okay, read them out
asking,
quickly.
how do you actually know that, you know, you are connected to the right spirit? Like, because I've done mediumship before. I asked someone to do a mediumship for my father, and of course, apart from the validation, is there a way really to know that it was my father who was talking to us at the time?
This is where your automatic writing comes in, Nikki, because if you were to connect, you know, have your mediumship reading, but then when you find that there is a certain member of family that comes through quite clearly for that medium, you can extend that by opening yourself up, by saying a prayer, bringing the energy down like we've done in previous Zoom meetings, and ask for that member of family to come forward, and you write. That's the validation, because the writing will be different handwriting. It won't be yours. But also you'll feel it in your gut, whether it's right or wrong. If you feel animosity, if you feel as if you are, you know, that feeling you get when you're angry and you feel you want to try and shield yourself, you know that that entity that's talking to you is not the person they say they are. It's a gut feeling. It's the energy flowing, as I said earlier, from your powerhouse down to your ethereal cord, and that gets a tug. And if you feel love coming forward, your member of family will only send that loving vibration down. So if it's an entity that is unwanted, it doesn't give the same love coming forward, so you don't feel connected.
Right.
Does that answer it?
Yes, yes, it does. And for the second question, it's is it also possible that you cannot connect to the spirit at all? Like the spirit of your loved one who passed doesn't want to connect with you?
It isn't that they don't want to connect to you, it's because you have the brick wall there. You've not awakened enough to be able to do it. So you need a third person to awaken you, or do you a medium's reading and do what I said originally just before, you know, connect for yourself. So it is dangerous to connect for yourself. I think it's much nicer in a group situation. So if you can get somebody online out of this group, or, you know, or out of one of my groups, one of the senior Starseeds, they're only too happy to help. And we do it normally through Messenger. Shanti does it through a different method. She does Zoom, I think, as far as I remember. But I personally like the Messenger link, and so does Sarah. We know what we're doing because we're not tech-minded, whereas you and Shanti are very tech-minded, so you can use other platforms. So that's the only reason, really. So what was your third question, or was that all the questions?
No. There's another question here. This is another one, somebody from Facebook who asked this question. I feel like I have some psychic gifts or abilities here. And because I can sense things, or sometimes I see things, or I hear things, and I'm not sure what these are. And I'd like to know if you can help me with this. Like, how would I know for sure that I'm not just hallucinating or imagining things?
Yeah, or you're schizophrenic. Because often, I mean, we've all gone through that, haven't we? When we've been awakened, you think,
know, yeah, that's true.
Did my mental capacity change?
Yeah.
No. I would say this, it's a lady, you say? It's a lady?
Yeah.
It's from a lady?
Yeah.
Okay, I would say that maybe this lady is a young lady because she's just starting to awaken. And that's what we call about awakenings, because you can see things in your mind's eye. Or really and truly, it needs a one-to-one, because I need to explain to her that you can see here, which is just in the mind, or you can see physically the energy building up into an entity. So I don't want to put her forward too quickly. You need to take this slowly. So I would say a one-to-one would sort that lady out, really. So if you're in contact with her, then ask her to call me on Messenger, or we'll sort something out between us, whichever way. Because this is your mind is very delicate. Your mind, you can't play with you know, and exaggerate what your mind is seeing. And quite often it's dream state. It's quite often in a dream state that you see different things, different happenings, because it's when you're asleep or in your, what I call lucid dreaming. So you're awake, but quite aware of what's going on, a bit like hypnosis and how you see that. That's just the awakening side of it all. And it's not to be, you can't quicken it. It has to be done slowly. And I'm not just saying that, I'm just saying if, you know, because you end up with a mental state that you don't want.
Right. Interesting. Anyway, we still have a few more questions, but we'll deal with these.
Leave those to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
You better introduce Sarah before she gets too nervous.
We're gonna bring in Sarah. Hi, Sarah. So let's talk about your Starseed, your interesting astral travel. Although I think all of us here actually, you know, all of us are Starseeds here. So, but we have to demystify the Starseed thing. I mean, what is that really all about? I mean, how do you know you're a Starseed? Well, what are your experiences so other people can actually relate to these experiences or feelings that you have? Sarah?
Oh, okay. Everyone's path is different and unique. And when you awaken, it's for you, you know, you and your soul, you know, and again, it's unique and you will know. So not only will you know, but it's a knowingness. And that is information that you just know, basically. That's all I can say. So for me, I think it was in 2017, I started to get a lot of spirit visit me, and I used to get used to come to me, well, all different spirits. I used to get shown colours, numbers. I used to have animals come to me when I was first awakened, and the colours got more intense. And then I started to go up in space. So I was laying one night and my left ear went really high pitched, and all of a sudden my body went high pitched as well, and I grid. And another time I was shown stars. So obviously I was new on this path, and I was going on the internet and I was researching it, and I'm a bit doolally. I was like, what's going on, you know? And then of course Starseed, I was like, wow. So I was like, right, I need a mentor, I need a medium big time, I need help. I don't know what's going on, because I'm shutting my eyes, I'm seeing all these things, I'm going to sleep, I'm seeing all these things. I need someone to help me. So I came across Lesley, thank the heavens, and I met Lesley and she took me under her wing. And Lesley has guided me for 4 years now and explained everything, and brought me on with my mediumship and taught me how to be a healer, and taught me the different ways to use mediumship to connect with the other side. And you know, I'm thankful for meeting Lesley, and to this day, not only is she my mentor, but she's my best friend as well.
Mother
so,
hen.
you know, a mother hen. So I've gained, you know, a best friend out of it all as well. I hope I explained everything. Feel free to fire questions, everybody, and I'll try my best to answer it.
Okay, thank you. I think, you know, questions will be coming in about that for Starseed, but I'd like to, we have one guest as well here, Andy. He's new, and we're happy for you to be able to join us tonight. So tell us something about yourself, your awakening, your experiences, you know, what do you want to say, talk about that others can really, you know, relate to your experiences?
Yeah, okay. Well, this is a first for me, to be honest. I've never done anything like this before. I think I've always had something going on in my life from years ago when I was a child, but, you know, just thought it was just nothing. Through my teenage years, nothing. 20s, 30s, 40s. And it wasn't until one dream I had. My mum died when I was in my sort of like 32, and I didn't really have much of emotion when she died, and everyone was like saying, "Oh, you're really hard. You know, what's wrong with you?" And I knew I missed my mum, and it wasn't until one dream I had, and we were at a beach, and I was a grown man when I was having this dream, and she was in a white dress, and I ran to her, and I sobbed my heart out. It was one of the most vivid dreams that will ever last with me till the day I die, pass over. And from then, it's just seemed to have grown. That was in my 30s. I'm now in my 50s. And this year has really sort of triggered. I've gone to readings, I've gone to psychics, and they've sort of said, do you know what? You've got something. Why aren't you doing it? Well, the reason I don't know what I'm doing. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. That's all really well saying all my spirit guides are saying, doing it. Why, you've had past lives and, you were this and that and the other. But I don't know how to, enhance it. No, I'm loving it. I'm running away with this. I want
Andy,
more knowledge.
Can I interject a second, Andy? You say your guides are there with you. Do you know who your guides are? Have you ever been given names or visions of them?
They are, I think one was like a wizard or something like that. I don't know. I'm going somewhere later on in the month on my birthday to a life past regression. Is it something like that? Just to sort of see what's going to happen. But that's something going on. I don't really know.
Andy, find out your past lives through one of your guides. You don't need to go to a particular seminar. Did you know it's a kind of hypnosis?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So it's better to develop your own feelings with this, and I'm not saying you've got to do it. I'm just saying it's the best way to do it. That's how I did it, and found that I had past lives in Egypt and Atlantis, and the tutorial side of it has been in my past lives. But the way I did it, and you don't have to do it yourself, it's up to you, was that I put myself in a state where I was listening to my head, if you like a mind-to-mind link. And I asked for one of my guiding lights to take me to the Akashic Records room. And in the Akashic Records room, there was a big book. It's what we call lucid dreaming or meditation. You're in that state. And when you're looking into the Akashic Records book, your guide is turning the pages for you and pointing things out to you. And that's your past lives that's in there. If you ask a different question of your pathway forward, they take the pages over until they come to what you're doing now and your forward pathway forward. Does that make sense? We lost. Oh,
not really.
If
I'm honest,
right,
it doesn't make any sense.
No, it's far better. It's far better to do it if we get a one-to-one. I'll help you to do that. But once I've got you on Messenger, I can send you the MP3 that I've got, which is my voice taking you along the different ways where you can sit in a cave and talk to your loved ones, or go out to the caves with your guide, because you get to know your guide on the beach. And as you go into the cave, he goes with you and he takes you to the Akashic Records room from there. So basically we do it together, so you know exactly what's going on. If that helps.
Yeah, okay, Lesley, thanks for that. Much appreciate it. Getting back to Sarah, I think I'm very much in tune with what Sarah was saying earlier about, having a high-pitched frequency in my ear. It's either that or it's tinnitus. I don't know. But it's like with the animals. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing things that corner my eye. Not long the other day I just sort of smoked, but it wasn't smoke. There was nothing there. So these are all these things. So no, I'm getting really involved with. Someone gave me a pendulum. Dowsing.
So I make them. I know exactly what you're saying.
Someone just, and the thing is, what really upsets me a little bit is when people sort of say, you think you use a pendulum or some sort of means of something very similar to that, and it sort of moves and all that. And then
Do you
sort of
know?
see,
Do you
well,
know how? And do you know the answers that it's giving you? Do you know how it moves? Because I will tell you. You put your pendulum around the middle finger so it drops. You're not holding it with the first finger and the thumb. You've got to let it free will drop. Okay. You steady the cord so it's very still, and then it will move. Now, if it goes round and round, the question you're asking, because you have to ask questions to it, the question you're asking, if it's going round and round, it don't know. You are meant to not know. Can I put it that way?
Yeah.
If it goes this way, it's definite no. Don't go down that. Don't go forward with that. If it's that way, if it's going backwards and forwards that way, then obviously it's a definite yes. And that's it. End of story.
So basically, if you're nodding your head, it's a yes. If you're shaking your head, it's a no.
Exactly.
Basically.
And we shrug our shoulders, don't we? If we're not sure, we shrug our shoulders. That's how a pendulum works. It doesn't give you any other reason. The only way it would give you something else is, I'll give you an incident. My cat went missing, and I live in Spain for quite a bit of time, and the cat lived in Spain. So obviously it had gone walkabout, and I was distraught because it'd been gone 6 weeks. So I gets my pendulum out, and it started to swing. Yes, he's been here. And then it would stop. Yes, he's been here. And if he's laid down, it went crazy. It went absolutely crazy because it could feel the vibrational energy of that animal and where it had been. So that's the only difference with a pendulum. You can use it in those ways, but it's mainly yes, no, and don't know.
Yeah. No, so, I've got some cards. Do you know what? I'm looking forward to the journey ahead, and that's all I can say.
Brilliant. What can I ask you? What cards you've got?
I've got some.
I don't want to know the name. I just want to know: are they divination cards or are they oracle cards?
Oracle, Oracle and Tarot.
So the oracle cards that you've got has got a little inscription on each card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've got 3 packs. They're absolutely brilliant for giving you a message in themselves, but when you're doing a reading for someone else, you need to have that clairvoyant link in with it as well. That's a psychic pack, basically. So you're going to use, and when you think about it, the author of those cards, it's the author's interpretation that's on those cards. Okay, so if you're using it with a clairvoyant link, that's brilliant, because you will give a little bit more than what that little passage says. You'll think to yourself, oh yeah, they've given me that, but I know it means this, right? You've got a clairvoyant link going there. Divination cards haven't got any inscription on them apart from the title. So it'll have a title, say king, queen, page, knight, whatever. And they would have numbers on the minor arcana, because they split between major and minor, and they give you a far better reading, because you've got to use your intuition. You've got to use what you're getting from the card. In fact, you're looking at the card and the picture comes out and you think, oh, that's a bit stronger, that part of the picture. I'll take note of that. What does it mean? Do you see what I mean? You can't do that with oracle cards, apart from the fact of your intuition kicking in.
Yeah, okay.
Get yourself some divination ones.
Like I said, Lesley, it's all a journey, and it's exciting, and
I'm glad you're excited.
Yeah, I really am.
I'm glad you're excited. Yeah. We'll meet up anyway another time, but that'll be definitely brilliant. All right then, my love.
Nikki. Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Nikki, is there anything else, my darling?
Yeah, I have a question here as well. The question actually here is, do I really need to have a mentor to be able to develop my gifts or my psychic abilities at all? And what happens if I cannot find a mentor?
It depends where you are in the world. We get loads of links in from other countries, don't we? So I can't give advice on that other than a one-to-one, which I'm quite happy to do one-to-ones. But as I say, I have started to charge now, because it's an hour long. When you're doing a mentoring, yourself, when we used to mentor together, it was quite a long time. Or it can be a short time. If I've answered your questions, it doesn't have to be that long. So really, I just go through a donation to my website to help me publish some more books. So that's all I do it for. I don't do it for the money itself. So yes, that lady, I can perhaps help if she doesn't mind me being a mentor. But I mean, they'd have to connect on Messenger. And if it's in the Philippines, don't you have trouble with Messenger?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
fine.
So it just depends where she is in the world. That's the question we need to know.
I have a question here as well. This is for Sarah. So the question here is, can you describe like what is a starseed? Like how do you know that you're a starseed? Like because she was saying my thinking, what I know about being a starseed is you have a connection to some to the planets or galactic space or whatever, and is that really true? And if it's true, how do I know what is my connection to which I'm, can you explain more about that?
Okay, so depending on your awakening, again, you will know, but for me, obviously, like I said, I was on the astral planes, having, visitations and animals and all that stuff. And then it went over to space, which is a totally different area from planes. And different vibration. You'll be able to feel it. One, it's a different vibration. It's a beautiful vibration. It's different. It's quite addicting, actually. And because obviously it's a lot higher, isn't it, going in space? And for me, I've had aliens visit me. So obviously having an alien visit you don't need clarification there, do you? You're a bit shocked, don't get me wrong, because it's clarification that there is aliens out there.
But you see with your third eye, don't you, those aliens?
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, my main purpose here in this lifetime is to astral travel, because I've been told that through the Mind to Mind link when I was astral traveling the other week. I've been told that. So, I feel honoured that I'm able to do this in this lifetime and help others awaken as well. But, when you get those connections, obviously, for example, like being visited by aliens, I've been on ships. I mean, that's clarification. I've been through billions of clusters of stars. I've been through the Milky Way. I've seen our blue planet in space. I've sat so high up in space, looking down on our blue planet with a lady in spirit. Is that the right word, Les? Is it portals?
Yeah.
I've been through portals.
Well, there's several. Our link between each other really is because I'm an amateur astronomer. I can pinpoint on star charts exactly where the messages are coming in from, providing I'm given a quadrant number, which is an M for Messier number. And then I look it up on the star chart and then I send it to you, don't I? So you know exactly where it is that you've been astral traveling to.
She is correct, because like anyway, you have good and bad, okay? And Lesley did open my eyes, because if you need to know where your connections are coming from, because there are good and bad up there. And like any other person on our planet, you don't want a bad connection, do you, guys? So it's very, very, you need to be, when you start getting connections from anywhere, but especially, up in space, you need to know where they're coming from, because you don't want a bad connection, because it's so hard to get rid of, and you don't want that vibration, do you? You want a happy, loving vibration. So
it's an attachment as well, isn't it, Sarah? They actually attach themselves to you. That's the difference with being a starseed and being an ordinary medium, because they do actually attach themselves to you.
Yeah, and another thing I want to say, and Lesley will back me up here, like when you get that connection, like for me, because I'm more connected to space, I've got that knowingness of that connection coming in, but so there's different ways of connecting with spirit. So as Lesley taught, pen to paper, so I can write light language on pen to paper. I can do it now, or I can do it using my hands like this. I can do it. It's that knowingness, but you've got that connection with spirit. Yeah. And well, guys, if you're going through like a traumatic time, sometimes I'll sit there with my legs crossed and I'll start using my arms and connecting with space, because it's that vibration's a lot more higher, and it makes me feel really relaxed. Yeah, because connection angelic.
Yeah, that's true. I do mine through meditation. Yeah, that's how I connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Fair play for you to do meditation, because that's one thing I can't do, guys. You know, wish I could. But anyway, you do it for Astral Travelling. So, you know, but I hope that's answered your question, guys, and all good.
Yeah, there's another question
Well
here as
done.
well. I was told that different to Earth humans and Earth angels, is it true that a starseed soul had never roots in on Earth, but was sent here on Earth to complete a specific mission or deed? Anyone?
Well, you're talking there about your guiding lights, basically. You're not talking about humans. That question is more or less putting, you know, the DNA of an extraterrestrial into humans. I'm not saying that hasn't happened, because I've been shown recently that, yes, that has happened. Many, many, many hundreds of years ago. You know, we're talking thousands of years ago. We're talking in the Atlantean stage, where they had, because it's a mind-to-mind link, they have like a vibrational field to certain extraterrestrial beings that make you more warrior-like, or you're more, how can I put it, aggressive in society. That's one type. And the other type, which is what Sarah was talking about, this wonderful angelic feeling in your body and the lovingness that comes forward from these beings, are more closer to our Milky Way. So we're talking more Andromeda field, and we're talking all the planetary quadrants around that area. But again, recently I was on a site, and when I go on sites, I don't talk about Wikipedia or one of the someone's hearsay. I'm talking about astronomy and proper astronomy sites. So the facts are coming through that they are slowly but surely finding other planets similar to Earth in the Milky Way. So if there was life to be, even in a primitive form, starting there, your life to life, you know, we talk about coming back into this lifetime or the next lifetime back here on Earth. The laws, the universal laws we talked about earlier on the universal laws, and they have to adhere to them, that I spoke about in the book, has changed. The free will spirit that we are as humanoids, a free will spirit, when you pass over, you don't always get the chance now to come back to this Earth. You may be taken to another Earth simply because of what you've learned on Earth. So the more you know about spiritual and what's going on in your ethereal body, then when you get to spirit world, that energy field shows them that you can return to this Earth. If you haven't elevated yourself in that way, then they would take you somewhere else to be reborn somewhere else. We're talking about reincarnation here.
Right. So the other question here is, how come others are not starseeds? Why?
Because they're not open. They're not open to it. It's as easy as that. They're not open to it.
So are you actually born a starseed, or you developed that thing?
Well, no. Well, I think you've got a purpose. You come down here. This is the learning ground. The Earth plane is the learning ground. Other planes are not. Other planes, you learn in a different way, and you become stronger in your energy field for when you return. So in aspects like that, then yes, that I can't say it any different way.
Right. So Sarah, going back to you, somebody was asking, like, did you mean like you're a Pleiadian or Sirians or one of these entities or aliens when you say you're a starseed?
Answer that one, Sarah. We know all about this. We know all about the Sirians and the Pleiadians, don't we? Come on, you answer it.
Okay, so personally, I am not an alien. Okay, right. So, like Lesley said, so we come here to reincarnate to learn, don't we? It's not our physical body; it's about our soul, isn't it? We come here to learn. So the more we reincarnate, the more we learn, the more knowledge we get, the more energy our soul gets. Okay, so what I'm going to say is, and I mean this from my heart, is when I was astral traveling, and I've said this a million times, I was told through the mind to mind link, whoever told me in the heavens, no fear. And before I came here, I agreed to do this work. Okay. So when I was told this, guys, I stood up from my bed like this and I was like, I understand. And this is early hours in the morning. I do it and I understand. Now, before we come here, we agreed to do what we need to do and our path is set. So in a way, I see it as I've met our Heavenly Father, and our Heavenly Father said to us here, before you reincarnate, I'm going to give you this spiritual gift. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So you come into your awakening and help awaken others. So you're spreading knowledge and love,
Right.
but you're awakening your inner soul, not the skin or the hair. It's about your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And part of me does feel that because our earth is so old, to go back to like dinosaurs. In the obviously they're now, but it's in the DNA, isn't it? So I do believe DNA. We have got alien DNA. I do, because everything is connected in. I do. So, if I do make alien faces, you know why. So, I hope that answers the question, guys.
I mean, we're actually going to be like, it's almost like in 5 minutes we're going to be, it's almost an hour now, but just one last question for you, Sarah, was asking like, have you actually met an alien face to face, like really like in front of you, or talk to an alien or somebody from Andromedan or
hang on, right? Okay, so
well,
sorry.
If follow up, if you met an alien, what did you talk about? How was the experience?
Oh, God. I'll let you answer that one. Go on. It's so off the wall. It's so off the wall. Can I just, before Sarah answers that question, because she's got to compose herself for a minute because she's laughing too much. So yes, if you go back many generations, let's go back to 2001. 2000 children that were born, which are called millennials, has brought back with them this lifetime some kind of knowingness already.
Okay.
And you could say that is planetary given knowingness. Can I put it that way?
Yeah.
And they brought it back from 2000. The millennial children have brought that back. That's why there's more awakening since 2000 than there ever has been before. And let's face it, we're in 2022. So those children are now 22 years old, and they want to explore that new awakening it's been in them since they were born, but they now have a chance to do something with it. And that's why the world is changing. That's why the world is starting to listen to the younger generation. Because if they don't, we're going to be in dilemma. We really are. And the extraterrestrials are looking at this planet saying, we're guardians of this planet. We don't want anything to happen to it. So that's when sometimes, especially when NASA gets involved, as you know, me astronomy, I like to go in and see what they're going on with the latest launches, and they want to go to the moon. That's why it's not gone to the moon yet, because the weather has stopped them from going or whatever. But also, it's not the right time. And the extraterrestrials know it's not the right time. They're only sending an unmanned flight, but it should have gone off in October, and it never went. Should have gone off in August or September, never went. There's been some problem with the spaceship.
Okay, I have an interesting follow-up here, actually, because Miss Lesley mentioned about millennials. So what happens to us in our 40s or 50s or 60s? Are we like not starseeds or anything anymore?
Oh no, they still stay as starseeds. They'll get even more knowingness of somebody being up there, and they can ask questions. But also, don't forget, we are exploring space. So we are getting closer to where they live, because we're exploring space. Once they've got launching pad, which is what they're trying to do from the moon. This is not a hearsay, it is actually happening, folks. They'll be able to take off from the moon much easier than they can off the Earth. So that in extraterrestrial view means they've got to do something to either mind-to-mind links with those on the Earth plane, that they come from a good place. They're not going to, you know, cause havoc on the Earth. But we could cause havoc on other planets the way we are at the minute.
Right. So, okay, thank you so much for that. So our last question actually was like to Sarah. So maybe she can answer that before we close our session tonight, which is more like
composed. She's composed now.
Again, I will repeat the question because so that the others can really understand before we went into like the laughing, you know, like, have you met an alien? And if you did, what did you talk about? What did you do together? How was the experience? Can you tell us a little bit about?
I know she's on about the coupling there. Yeah, in Sarah's mind. I know exactly what she's on about.
Thank you for the question. It's lovely. Honestly, it's lovely. I haven't had a conversation with them, but I've had different species come to me. Aliens that look like cats with big cat eyes.
Lyra connection.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
The tall aliens, the greys.
Andromeda.
Yeah.
Oh, too. Well, they're greys are separate, but the tall beings are whites, which are Andromedan.
Yeah.
Lovely. Back me up in this. I've had star beings that come to me that have got beautiful blonde hair as well. Beautiful blonde hair.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I've don't like talking about it, but I've had an experience where I had a Draco come to me right close in my mind's eye, and I cut off the thing. But what an experience I say to myself, to actually see that in my mind's eye.
Explain what he looked like, Sarah. A Draconia.
Oh my god! So very scaly, scaly.
Yeah.
Like a green face.
Looked like a reptilian.
Reptilian.
I didn't like it because when you speak to someone, it's nice to speak to someone that's got not a negative feature, and I didn't like it because it's quite negative as well. So it looked at me like it was angry and stuff. So I was like, Lesley, I rang Lesley. I was like, I need your help. Because I got scared and she helped me sort of like cut off the link. Luckily, I haven't had that. Do you know what I mean? But to turn it around a bit, guys, you know, the alpha state. So the alpha state is when you wake up half awake.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you, a mothership next to me in my alpha state. I'm not lying to you, it was a mothership. And I rang Lesley up and I just couldn't believe it. I can go on and on and on, you know, what I've seen in space. You know what star constellations are? So the high up, they buzz at a very, very, very high vibration. They're pure white. And I was astral traveling through these star constellations, and all I can hear was zzz, and that zzz is the buzzing of the star constellations. Absolutely. And I rang Lesley. I was like, Lesley. Lesley's so used to me ringing her. She helps me out, and she, you know, she's my mentor and my best friend. And guys, if you need any help or anything, go to Lesley.
Can I explain about that buzzing, the star constellation buzzing? The technical term is we have sound telescopes as well as visual telescopes, right? And that's the kind of sounds that come through. If you Google Mars, because they've got the I can't remember the name of it now, the latest rover that's over there, and it took a helicopter down. Endurance, no, I honestly can't remember. Anyway, just Google the rovers that NASA has put over Mars, and they're still going around there now. They actually have a microphone on them, and you can hear that sound. It's not just sound of wind, there's like a musical sound with it sometimes. And only a few weeks back, they had a collision of an asteroid onto Mars, and you heard the sound of it hitting Mars. So it's worth backing up whatever you get, message-wise or dream state viewings, visions that you get, with actual facts of what's going on in the astronomy field. The James Webb Telescope is brilliant at looking at all the different planets and the different stars and the beautiful colours that have not been enhanced. You know, they're pure photographic pictures that are coming through from James Webb Telescope. They haven't had the hands on them. They're coming through as we speak. So it's worth looking on if you're into starseeds and you want to know more of where they're coming from, find out from the astrological point of view rather than astrology point of view.
Mm-hmm. Right.
There's two differences there.
Can I say one more thing? Well,
Yeah.
it's coming up. Those of you that are listening to this that are very inquisitive and want to learn more, which is great, I want to say that we all live on a planet in space, okay? Everything is science and energy, okay? And I can clarify that because I've astral travelled through a plant, okay? Sorry, a leaf, right? And this leaf was pure white, and I went into this leaf, into another dimension. And then that clarified to me that every single little thing on this planet is energy. And when it dies, doesn't matter if it's a grass or a little ant, it all goes over to spirit. So everything lives on as well.
Yeah, very interesting. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it's the energy that it gives off, because we have an old saying, don't we? If you're feeling upset about something, go and give a tree a hug. And that isn't just a saying, you can feel the energy of that tree as you've got your arms around it. You actually do feel good in yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. It is actually, I mean, somebody was asking, like, do you actually talk to them, you know, like really talk to them? And in my experience, it's not. It's always mind-to-mind experience.
Yes.
Yeah, because people are thinking like...
telepathic.
Yes.
It's more telepathic.
Yes. So they were saying, like, you know, it's probably like, they always think it's like that. Like you talk to them, you know, like in front of you, and they say, you know, you talk to them like how we talk to each other.
Yes, because guys, if you think about it, all we know is this, if that makes sense. Like we talk to each other through the human mouth. But in spirit, you talk through the mind-to-mind link. It's a totally different, not way of life. How can I put it, Lesley? It's a totally different
energy. It's an energy connection rather than a physical body connection.
Yes. So,
but I mean, I've got to say, there are humans which have mixed DNA that are walking our planet, because there's been experiences seen. You know, people have actually seen the physical, but again, are they seeing the physical energy, or are they seeing the energy form that is formed in such a way to show it as a mirror, show it as a mirror image, which they can do. They can actually, you can actually visually see them when they're called like changelings. You can actually, no, I'm going off on a different topic altogether. We won't go into changelings, not so good. Won't go there. When they're showing themselves physically, it could just be they've been able to form that energy into a physical body they once had. They once, you know, what they've shed, they can show themselves that way, but really it's just energy form.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, like, okay, I always say this is the last question because
yeah, I know, it's all right.
Closed. Andy, I hope you can bear with us. We're still like, you know.
Is Andy there, or is he dropped off to sleep?
Exactly. So there's this question like, can you actually summon an alien or an entity? Can you like just call an Andromedan and say, hey, you know, can you be here right now and can we talk?
Only if you have an Andromedan guide that you've been with for many, many years. So they're instinctively on your wavelength.
Yes,
it's all to do with wavelength. Because you're doing it with your mind. Yes, you can. But not any Tom, Dick or Harry. You know, it isn't like the entities of our humanoids that are past a spirit and showing evidence of survival. They don't need to show their evidence of survival because we know that they're with us in our thoughts.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. So is there anything else that you would like to discuss or say at this point in time? Because I think
let's ask Andy. Let's see what Andy's got to say.
yeah.
about
Andy,
all this.
what do you think about this, about Starseeds? Aliens.
To be honest, I've never heard of the term, first of all. I didn't know what a starseed was, whatever. From what Sarah has been saying, it seems it's a lot to comprehend from someone who's just heard about it, if I'm really honest.
Yeah.
I think someone looking from outside would just say, really? Oh, yeah, cool, yeah. No. Something's going on there. And I get that.
Do you agree? Yes, I quite totally agree with what you just said, because there will be people who's viewing this video thinking exactly the same as you.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nuts. They've got a screw loose.
No, I wasn't saying that, Lesley. Sorry,
No,
I wasn't saying that Sarah's off.
That's
She
right.
needs to
What
see someone.
but what I was going to back it up with, because obviously there are some that will be watching this and saying that, not you, but others that view it. What I will say is it's just an extension of the energy you're building up in your ethereal body, that you want to connect higher than those first few planes of family members. So in our group, we get mediums that have already trod the boards, already giving messages from, messages of survival. But they've got that feeling that they know they can give more. They know that they've got an extra energy there and it's going somewhere and they want to know where. That's where the Starseeds comes in.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm going to start looking into a little bit more. And obviously, I'd like to get hold of. I'd like to speak to Sarah. Do that. Maybe on a one-to-one, if I could do Sarah. Is that okay with you?
You fine.
Put your link out there, darling.
Yeah, will do.
Yeah, should I put my email address out now, or is that
no?
The right one?
I'll get it through Lesley.
You should get it. He'll get it through me. I'll do that, Sarah, if you don't mind, because we like to talk on Messenger. You're all right with Messenger, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Andy? Yeah, that's fine. So you'll have two Messenger links there, so you can.
Yeah, no problem.
We've got to confirm, haven't we? Request and confirm. So I can do that. That's no problem. Because for the benefit of the video, obviously we've met you. We know that you're not one of these that is antagonistic. We know that you're not, you're not that way minded. We can read you anyway. I can see your aura around you. You're a brilliant aura. So your energy field is brilliant there. As I'm looking at you, you're very white from the shoulders up and over the head. Okay. And you've got like an auric field there, which shows me a lot. Andy, you come from the heart. You're not going to be one of these that just get online to pull things to bits and be antagonistic.
No, that's not me at all. Never has been.
No, that's right.
No, so it's.
But believe you me, we do get them. I promise you.
Right. Okay. Well, let them go. Negativity for me, I just walk away. Positivity for me is all the way.
Same.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, on my path, guys, as well, and I will just add as well, I get premonitions and I get spirit on the astral planes visit me, like family. I had Leslie's mum visit me the other week, and I get people in the group, like part of their family members, visit me, and I just let them know that they visited, because just wanted to let me know that they're, because obviously like people on the earth plane worried. We do worry about our loved ones in spirit, and they just come and show me that they're happy and healthy. Then I'll explain to the person, what they look like, and then it just shows that person on the earth plane that their loved ones are happy. And like I had one of the medium in our group, her dad came to me a few weeks ago, and he was cooking with a long cigarette out of his mouth, and I told the medium in our group, and she's very happy now because she knows that her dad is happy in spirit doing what he wants to do, cooking and smoking. So I feel this is part of my path where I relay messages that way. Does that make sense back to people? Spirit are showing me that they're happy, and so it's part of it's mediumship in a way, isn't it?
It is definitely mediumship. Definitely mediumship. Evidence of survival. all the way.
Absolutely, yeah. And you know, and I feel very grateful, like all the other people on this planet that are spirit that on their spiritual path, and we can only do the best we do, you know, from the heart. So guys, everyone that's reading this, if you want any help with anything or ask any questions, you feel free to contact me or Lesley, and we're here to help.
Can I just say one more? This is just, where's this actually going to be going out to? Because obviously work, if they see this, they're just going to sort of like rip me apart a little bit. Like, I didn't know it's going to be going out live, to be honest.
They might rib you, but I mean, Nikki will answer that.
Yeah,
Where's it
well,
going
actually,
out to?
the purpose, are you talking about the Zoom,
Yes,
the Zoom
yes,
videos?
I am, yeah.
Basically, we're doing this every week because
Oh, right.
my intention really was more of, apart from like broadcasting this in different platforms globally, it's more of like the locals, the Filipinos in the Philippines, because we're not as, I wouldn't call us advanced or more aware of like those in the West about, especially about mediumship. It is not something that is really very well known here. I mean, I am trying to create awareness for those of us here in the Philippines and about Starseed mediumship, because the idea is always like mediumship is like you're about ghost hunting, you know, like seeing ghosts, communicating with the ghosts and all that, which is really not true. So I'm hoping that because of this, we are actually creating awareness, and like what Lesley said, we're trying to spread this awakening to as many people as we can. And now, some people are really interested about this, and somebody told me like, can you discuss about Starseeds? Because I mentioned somebody like, even I myself, when I do astral travel, I don't do it a lot. I mean, I love doing it, but I said, I know someone in the group, which is our group here, you know, the UK group, Sarah, who does it, you know, she's doing it all the time. I don't know, do you do it like intentionally, or does it happen to you like, you know, anytime?
It just happens when it happens. Obviously, you know, I'm here to do this, and it happens. I can just lay there with my eyes closed and I'm disconnected. Or I lay there with my eyes closed and I'm either astral traveling or I have spirit visit me.
But you can shut that. You can shut that door off when you want to.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, yeah. But I think she likes it. I think she enjoys traveling all the time.
Because she won't shut the door off.
Yeah. She's like me. I mean, I don't want to do it all the time, but it's really very interesting. But you know, somebody was asking here, isn't that a very scary experience? Like, are you able to go back to your body? Are you able to go back to Earth? I mean, you know, what happens, you know, if you get lost?
Well, Nikki, you have your ethereal cord attaching yourself to your physical body. So, and unless you die, you pass over, that cord is still intact. So you can go anywhere with your energy field. You can, you know, because your energy field is going through that cord. So really, it's only on the point of death that you can't get back to your physical body.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually travelled in places where I'm not 100% sure of. So I open my eyes, so I'm cutting that link, and I've gone to places, and I look at it, and I think I'd like to go in depth a bit. So I put my intention out to move forward, and it's actually worked. So it just shows where you put your intention, it will go. And I'm learning that slowly with astral traveling, because when I've seen portals, I've pushed myself further to go through it because it's beautiful. And I'm looking all around all through these portals, and it's beautiful, and I don't want to leave it. It's such a beautiful experience.
So,
you know,
sorry, someone asked me here, like, so do you get messages? Like, are you being told about messages, about like messages related to Earth, or you know, all these messages that you can tell us about?
That's what I'm doing now, aren't I? So I'm relying back to telling you what I've seen. So in a way, I'm telling you what I've seen. So you know,
when we do transfiguration, when we do transfiguration, we're allowed to, because you've got to do this safely. Please don't anybody try and do it on their own, really, because it's unsafe. What you're doing, you're projecting out of your body, because you're allowing the entity to talk through you.
Yeah.
So they use
Yeah.
your voice box.
Mhm.
Now, the way I teach transfiguration is that you only set so much of your body on one side and allow them to use part of that body to speak to the earth. So in other words, you know, we've done it in group. I've
Yes.
stopped doing it at the moment because I've got some problems with, you know, sort of sickness in the family. So obviously I don't want to be able to use that extra energy that I would
Yeah.
need for transfiguration. But we will do another one of those, Nikki, transfiguration, because it allows my guiding light to actually show themselves, those that can see, or actually hear his words through my voice box. And that's how they communicate. They can do it that way.
Yeah, so Anna here is saying, can you do a live transfiguration next time?
All right, yeah. Oh, well, as long as my husband's recovered, because he's ill in hospital still.
Yeah.
So, and we had the good news yesterday that he may be coming out soon. So it means that I won't be worrying. I won't be going backwards and forwards to the hospital every day. I've kept the day off today so I can do this. But it does take a lot of your energy when your partner's ill, because you are transferring your energy to theirs to keep them well.
Yeah.
Because as you know, we do healing in the group, don't we? Which does take a bit of your energy out of you to do some healing. So it's working anyway. And I will thank anybody who's watching this video who's been sending healing to my husband, John. They actually sealed the holes in his pancreas.
Wow.
It happened overnight. It happened overnight.
That's
so
great.
It does work.
Yeah.
That's when we all send out the same healing vibration. It's wonderful. I'm so thrilled. And thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'm so sorry, guys, but I think, you know, we're more than an hour and I don't want to keep all of you, although I still keep on getting messages for Sarah.
You will do. You have to do another one, another Starseed.
Yeah. I mean, all these questions, I think, you know, they're very curious about this because like what I said, this is not something like us here in this country are really like, nobody really talks about it. They're not really aware.
I'll tell you what, Willow.
Yeah.
I'm going to show everyone a little glimpse what it's like in the heavens, okay? So, you know your beautiful picture? It's exactly like that. I'm telling you, very much like that. Beautiful.
Yes. You're getting to have some fans here, Sarah. Like, they're really curious about what he's saying about, you know, describing and like, how do they look like? How do they talk to you? What do they tell you? What do they have any messages for us here about the, you know, predictions, even, you know, things like that.
What I was telling you with that passage I read.
Oh yes, please show us the book. Yeah.
So basically, a lot of the messages came through in the book before this one. But if they go online to Amazon, all of them are there as digital form. But if they're in the UK, I can actually pay. You know what a difficult it is to get it out to the Philippines. It won't get past the where they look at all your posts and everything that goes through. And it took 6 months to get a book out to one of the members in the Philippines. So what I'm suggesting is that they go online to Amazon and get it down as a digital format. As far as you're concerned, we're going to look at some publisher in the Philippines that's similarly, and then you've got free carte blanche of it all, really.
Right.
But as far as Andy's concerned, I can send you one, darling, because you are in Britain.
I am indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So
thank you so much. Thank you, Andy, for being here and patiently like staying with us for more than an hour.
Been a pleasure.
Of course, Sarah.
Yeah. Well done, well done. You've stayed the course.
And Sarah, of course, you know, the new star here.
Your friends can follow me on Instagram if they wish as well. Got my own account.
Sorry?
Your people that are watching, if I'm on Instagram or Facebook, so feel free to add me. If and I can.
Yeah.
Please come on live next time, and then I will tell you some more about what I've seen in space as well, guys. So please come on, and I'll help as much as I can.
Yeah, I think, you know, they're very curious about that because they don't really talk about these aliens and starseeds and all that and Syrians. And I mean, I do, but every time I talk about it, people think I'm crazy anyway. So, you know, it's a good thing that you mentioned that. But me, when I talk about it here, people think like they, you know, woo-woo kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I know. You've
Exactly.
lost the plot. I
Yeah.
get the same. I
and
don't even talk to some of
Lesley,
my
of
members
course.
of family.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, thank
You're
you,
welcome.
Lesley. I know you're going through some things right now and you put so much time and effort for this and everybody else. But I really enjoyed this session tonight, and hopefully we can do this again for next.
I look forward to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for this thing, and they want to
Fine.
talk more about your experience, Sarah, about, you know, really like
I'm here.
go
Yeah.
through the whole thing of like how it started, what did you discuss, and these things. All right,
Yep.
so
All right.
thank you,
Jeff.
everyone,
Yep.
and guys, we'll see you again next Saturday. For the
Yes.
meantime, stay safe in this typhoon, and everybody stay safe. Take care. Bye, everyone.
Take care. All the best. Good. God bless.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.